Swayam Prabha. Digital India. Educated India.
We will look at the different perspectives on diffusion of technology. Here, the idea is that this phenomenon of diffusion of technology has been studied under different disciplines. The concern of economists is a bit different from that of the maybe marketing experts vis-a-vis that of the sociologists. The process is of interest to all three of them, and as I said earlier, there are going to be a differences in terms of what is their major concern. When we think from a point of view of economists and when they perceive this process of diffusion, clearly they see it as an accumulative or aggregate result of the different actions which has been taken by individuals. Those individuals have done a cost benefit analysis and they are also acting or be working in a particular environment which is characterized by uncertainty and limited information. They may not have a complete idea about how that acceptance of a newer way of doing things is going to change the final outcome for them. So there is an uncertainty also as such. So using these terms of uncertainty and the limited information, which has an impact on the economic theory, like we have seen earlier, limited information might lead to asymmetric information problems. Uncertainty can be taken care of by understanding the expected returns as such. So taking care of these aspects, how an individual makes a final decision with respect to the cost and benefit, and that how that final process then become an aggregate or a cumulative of the series of the individual actions. That is a perspective coming from the economist point of view. Then clearly here the decision making is done at a micro unit level. It ignores the social feedback effect. The diffusion activities, whether we are talking from a suppliers of the technology and that of the adopting to the local conditions, are also often concerned from the economist point of view. We have had a long discussion about market for technology and how the transfers can happen there. Then the tendency is also there for the change in the technology during the adoption process. Why? Because the context of the adoption can be very different. When a particular way of, let us say, a particular technology has been developed in the context of an economy which is much colder, let us say, vis-a-vis now it has to be adopted in a more tropical area. Clearly, there is a need to introduce the changes. Then there are network effects, the linkages, which might help in the diffusion of the technology. So these are some of the concerns of the economists when it comes to this process of the diffusion. What are the major challenges they perceive with respect to the uncertainty and limited information that influence the decision making by the individual, and finally it is a cumulative process. So what they're looking at is a decision making of the adoption being done at a micro unit level, and what is the final, how it aggregates together. Here once again, the activities of the supplier will be very important. Why? Because the technology, when it is getting diffused to a different context, right, and different conditions, then clearly it needs to be adapted. Changes has to be introduced as such. Moreover, that will lead to the change in the technology. Certain, maybe incremental change can be introduced. Lastly, there could be a network effect, that if a particular technology would require that a certain group comes together and as a result it will diffuse, then clearly the network effect will play out. Network effect will also play out in terms of the information being given or being disseminated or being spread out with respect to the use, whether there are certain challenges, whether there are whether it is very easy to absorb, etc. The concern from a sociologist, of course, is the external environment, the social context, how the society would be adopting it. Moreover, though may also talk about may not talk about in the context of a diffusion of technology itself, but of its impact on the society. So the two-way relationship can be analyzed. However, the focus then in that case becomes the external environment. When you think from a marketing literature point of view, then they would have to think, how do we encourage the customers in order to purchase the new goods? What is going to be the forecast of regarding the success of this product in the marketplace? So their concerns are going to be very different. Now let us talk about the different factors or determinants which will facilitate the process of the diffusion of the technology. Like I was just talking about social impact and the network. So social impact is important in the speed of the technology. Why? Because people are more inclined to adopt a technology if they see friends, co-worker, opinion leaders in their social network adopting and approving it. So these networks will play a very important and significant role in terms of the distribution of the knowledge, recommendations about the knowledge, the social norms will also play out. So there you will find that clearly if you find, your friend is now using maybe a latest technology, mobile, or your co-workers are using, you may also get interested in to see what all you can do from it, whether you can use it or not, and so on and so forth. Next is with respect to the availability of infrastructure. There, whether you have the access to the technology or not, and moreover, and most importantly, the accompanying infrastructure will also be very important. Suppose you have purchased maybe a mobile phone, but the connection or there is no tower signal, clearly it will be very frustrating. So the accompanying infrastructure to support that adoption will be very important. So we have seen various initiatives even within India, like Digital India, where the focus is on creating that kind of an infrastructure, including internet connectivity, hardware and software, which will facilitate the determinants of or the dissemination as such. And inadequate infrastructure or unequal access can then affect the process. For instance, distant location may not be very well connected. Clearly, the adoption of internet related services then can be very much problematic in those areas. Next, economic factors. Economic considerations such as cost of technology, what kind of investment return you will get on that investment. Suppose you have bought a new mobile and you realize that the benefits that you get on it are much more better. Whether there are financial resources accessible to the potential adopters or not, and they can have a substantial impact on the diffusion of technology. Technology affordability and cost effectiveness in that case become very critical reasons for the adoption as such. Next, cultural and social factors like cultural norms, values, beliefs, social acceptability of technology will also influence the adoption. Moreover, what is the societal attitude towards risk, change, and the role of technology in daily life clearly will inform, because there are certain societies which do not accept any kind of a technology. So clearly they have not adopted such, any mere means of communication or travel as such. Then what about information and uncertainty? The choice of to adopt will depend upon the information which is available about the experience and the immediate environment. The choice to adopt a new technology requires knowledge about the potential adopter's situation. Generally, advertisement also influences. Whenever we are talking about these factors which are facilitating the diffusion of technology, you can look at some examples in the real life. At an economy level, you can think of how introduction of mobile phones has changed the Indian economy, starting from the early 2000s and then the last 2 decades. The kind of change that has been brought in by the adoption of the mobile phone from somebody who is really high up in the economic ladder vis-a-vis somebody who may not have access to the resources, as well as may not have not have a very high economic position as such. So they have completely changed. But what did facilitate the adoption of those mobile phone? Then that can be done with respect to the social impact and network infrastructure has been created. You will realize that the people who bought the mobile phone, they were giving the feedback to the others, and clearly clearly there were economic factors also, because to getting a landline connection in the country was very difficult, and the overall connectivity with respect to landline was also limited. Apart from that, the information got disseminated amongst the different players. Moreover, the market structure in that particular industry, when we talk about the availability of the telecommunication services, was very competitive, and in that competitive setup, what you find that the cost of per unit, even talk time was reducing considerably. That was further facilitating the use of the mobiles in the Indian case. Though we have few companies, it is an oligopolistic market structure, but the competition was rather intense. Apart from that, the regulatory environment will also play a significant role. What kind of a regulations, rules have been created? The competition policy, once again, like I just gave you an example, where there was intense competition among the existing players, leading to the reduction in the cost over a period of a time, and the standards that has been set up. So those kind of a factors, regulatory factors, will also play a very important role in determining whether a particular technology get diffused in a economy or not. Moreover, what is the speed at which it gets? So it may be ultimately get absorbed or adopted in an economy, but if it is taking too long a time period, by the time the world has already moved on to a newer ways or newer technologies, then clearly it may not be that benefit. So adoption itself, yes, no, but also most importantly, the speed at which it will be adopted or diffusing in the particular country. There are clearly going to be certain barriers which will stop the process, or will, if not completely stop, clearly hinder the process of the diffusion. So what are those barriers? For its first one which will come to your mind is clearly the cost barriers. If the cost of purchasing, installing, maintaining is rather high and it is very substantial, then clearly there are going to be challenges in terms of the diffusion. The initial investment require, recurring expenses, and the affordability from the individual and organization point of view will have a potential limit to the spread of the technology. The barriers to the infrastructure, for instance, if now we have the mobile phones, but if there are not enough towers which is hindering the signals, will have a impact on whether you would buy one or not. So limited access to technology, inadequate infrastructure, the problems related to internet connectivity, insufficient power supply. You may have mobile phone in the home, but when you don't have a power supply for 3 days, there is no possibility to charge it. A lack of appropriate gear or software, insufficient technological assistance in certain regions or communities. As a result, you will find that the technology does not get diffused easily. There are going to be some kind of a barriers to skill and knowledge also. Now, as you find that the smartphones are becoming more and more smart, some people who may not have tried the earlier versions of the so smartphones, they might find it too difficult to kind of work with it. A lack of skill and knowledge will also be needed, so that a lack of this skill can in fact lead to a divide between the people who are using the technology vis-a-vis who are not. So individual and organization may struggle to adopt if they do not have the required skill and knowledge in order to absorb or diffuse the technology. It is in that context you would have heard the terms like digital divide, because digital literacy and technical knowledge becomes very prominent factors in determining your capacity to absorb it. Moreover, there could be inherent characteristics like resistance to change. Some people may be very fearful. They may not be want to deal with the uncertainty that brings in, and they might be skeptic. They might be not very willing to change their existing routines, and that can influence the resistance to the change. Now, suppose in a company now, the new technology is going to kind of change the way the things are being done. The upskilling might be required, or some people who are not very well versed with the new technology might have to be displaced. So clearly there can be a resistance to this kind of a change also. The cultural and the social barriers can also influence acceptance and adoption of a new technology, may be influenced by the societal norms, values and beliefs, and cultural differences, linguistic obstacles. So you have seen in the last few years that most of the most of the apps sometimes are also available in the local languages, which facilitates the absorption, and the social conventions, privacy issues can also hinder. Lastly, the government policies, which can create either barriers or it could be either supportive. So if you have very complex, stringent rule, licensing requirement, IP rights, etc., it may lead to difficulties in terms of technology adoption, particularly in case of the regulated industries. So with this, we will finish our discussion on diffusion of technology. We have understood the term. We have also looked at the diffusion process, a few models related to that. Then we have looked at the factors which facilitate it, and lastly, understood the barriers to diffusion of technology.